Let's chat about Hunter Biden. It's been revealed that Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop, which allegedly contains evidence of influence peddling and drug use, will take centre stage during his federal trial on gun charges. And just to recap, Hunter Biden was charged with illegally purchasing and possessing a gun, and he has pleaded not guilty and claims that he's being politically targeted. But Alex, can you just remind us what's allegedly on that hard drive and how this is going to play out for Hunter Biden?
Well, first of all, sadly, I don't think Hunter Biden is ever going to face any sort of the repercussions that are due for. Listen, Hunter Biden was leading Burisma, an energy company in the Ukraine, and now we're supporting a never-ending war in the Ukraine. Hunter Biden is connected with China, where potentially America is going to have to defend Taiwan against China. And if we can't beat the Taliban in a war, if we lost the Vietnam War, I'm really worried about fighting a war with China. So Hunter Biden is a despicable person, but I'm empathetic to him because he lost his mom at a young age. His drug abuse is the only thing that actually makes him likable. You know what I mean? A lot of people here in America, drugs are a huge issue. Everybody knows an uncle, a drunk uncle, or somebody that has substance abuse problems. That humanizes him. But what doesn't humanize him is the fact that his dad was benefiting from his power as vice president and using his son as a literal bag man, getting money from China, getting money from the Ukraine. So for me, if you just look into it, a lot of people are not willing to actually put in the time to look into Hunter Biden, but Hunter Biden is a criminal that has sold out the American people. I don't like him for that sense. The fact that he's had substance abuse issues, that kind of normalizes him. So I have this weird kind of dichotomy, love-hate relationship with Hunter Biden, is that I don't like what he did for our country. I don't like about how he used his dad for power, but I'm also empathetic because he's probably had a lot harder life than you would expect being the vice president's son and now the president's son.
Looking at the last presidential election in 2020, Facebook restricted the story from the New York Post about Hunter Biden's laptop, which allegedly contained emails that Joe Biden was helping his son's business dealings with Ukraine. Now that this laptop, that this hard drive is going to be used as evidence in a federal trial, how is this going to impact this election in November 5 when we're seeing Joe Biden and versus Donald Trump once again? Are we going to see big tech really try and restrict these types of stories again?
Well, 100%. Gabriella, I'm not trying to kiss your derriere when you say this, but I really respect Sky News for covering this because a lot of mainstream media companies here in America will not cover Hunter Biden fairly. And yes, during the 2020 election, there was 50 ex-Department of Justice, CIA, FBI members that said that this was just Russian disinformation. That all proved to be false and that they lied about it because they wanted to protect Joe Biden in the 2020 election. So I have no faith in the technocracy, all the tech companies that control the narrative, that can censor people if they speak out against it. And sadly, I really do think 2024 is going to be very similar to 2020. And, it's not even about the laptop. We know the laptop is real, but they'll tell you that it's not. And that's what's so mad. That's what's so maddening. That's what pisses me off, excuse my French, is that the government can just lie to us. And then when we catch them in that lie, they face no repercussions. We just have to move on and try to forget about it. It's really, we have a two-tier justice system, one for the elites and one for everybody else.
Let's look at what's happening on the campaign trail. President Joe Biden was in New Hampshire this week promoting his administration's veterans policy, sounding as eloquent as ever. Let's take a listen.
Let me close with this. After I signed the PACT Act into law.
Doesn't he sound great, Alex?
I mean, tell me this, Gabriella. What do the people of Australia think of Joe Biden? Whether you like Trump or not, at least he can speak. I'm not even saying you guys have to love Donald Trump. Donald Trump's not perfect. But we have a president that is falling up the stairs that can't put out a coherent thought. There's rumors and speculations that he might be on some sort of performance enhancing pharmaceutical drugs to try to keep him awake. Like, it's almost a stain on the entire world, not the country, that this is the leader of the free world. So is Joe Biden popular in Australia? They have to think that he is the biggest joke ever. What do the people think in Australia of Joe Biden, if you don't mind me asking?
You know what? People who aren't fans of Donald Trump, I think they get really quiet when it comes to Joe Biden. But I think even if you are a Democrat supporter, you know that Joe Biden is just not the man for the top job and they really need to see someone else. Because you can't keep looking at clips after this clip again and again. It's just like, how much longer can he really be campaigning for?
And Gabriella, he said, if you don't vote for him, you're not black. He said that to the black community. That is, if Donald Trump said that, they would throw him in jail. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Joe Biden, at one point, he was very sharp. At one point, he was a good politician, or at least a smart politician, knew how to do his job. At this point, it's like Weekend at Bernie's. They are just propping him up. He can barely walk. And I hate to say this. To me, it looks like elder abuse because he doesn't want to be the president. He should be on a golf course. He should be at his beach house in Delaware. They shouldn't be parading him, all across the country, basically just, parading around a walking corpse, in my opinion.